Hello, 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 hello. Everybody hears me? That's good. Nobody hears me. Well, okay. Anyways, I'm Nathan. This is Brent. I'm the senior producer, and he's the lead game designer and creative director. We are also in the Norwegian black metal band called Total Heldeath.
What?
Shameless plug there. No. So we're the 7th Warhammer game on this show. We are called Total Eternal War of Dawn. Actually, the Eternal Crusade, and you might not have heard of us. We're just going to show you 2 slides in the beginning, which gives you a short overview of what this game is. So it's a third-person shooter, and it has massively online features. So it's kind of an MMO, kind of an FPS, but it's a third-person shooter. So what you have the 4 factions and 5 sub-factions for each of the Warhammer 40k universe. We have vehicles, and they are based on the sub-factions as well. We have PvP, which is actually different game modes, and this will actually range from 16 versus 16 to 60-plus player PvP modes. We have 5 classes, which is the infantry, the heavy, the jump assault, support, and ground. Support being everything from sorcerer to apothecary, right? Are you familiar with Games Workshop? You know, we're in the UK, so yes, okay. 1 person, good. 2 persons, good. Has anybody bought anything from Games Workshop? Even more. So you've not heard about them, but you bought for them. That's good. Have you played any Warhammer games lately? Yeah. Were they any good? Oh, shit. Well, of course. We have a large number of good Warhammer games coming out this year, and we're all good friends, except when we're not. And our aspect is the shooter. You'll get a lot of tactical games, and they'll be showing their stuff later. But going to the right, there we go. So the massive aspect is that we also have PvE. You can actually become veterans, heroes, and elites. So there's actually character progression and personalization. So there's that massive kind of RPG element to it. There's going to be thousands armors, augmentations, and visual combinations, items, ammos, upgrades, and it's a persistent world map. So as you can see, there's both you have to drive out the Tyranids through PvE from your territories, but also take over locations, whether that's outposts, the smaller battles, or fortresses, which is 60-plus battles, to take over the territory from the other factions. So there's a campaign the entire time that is player-driven, about 2 week every cycle. There's territorial conquest, and there's also player objectives, of course, for yourself. So that's kind of like the brief overview of what we're doing. We are in early access, so what you're going to see actually be played here is just from early access, where we're focusing on the core shooter, which was our first focus point of like thinking, well, if we don't get the shooter right, the rest won't matter. So if you go into early access, you will see the shooter aspect, and now we're adding actually those massive aspects now as we speak, and we have screenshots of that actually afterwards. So we're actually going to jump into gameplay right now.
All right. So this is on one of the newest maps we have, Torias Refinery, and I'm driving around one of our squad rhinos. There's 30 people in these maps right now, and some of our best players are actually online, one of our top guilds. So I'm going to go find a nice spot, because I am equipped with a Stalker Bolter, and I'm going to start picking people off. Oh, nope. They have a heavy bolter place. These guys know what they're doing. I'll remind you that, of course, we're actually playing on live with players. They don't necessarily know they're being shown off at the PC Gamer Expo right now, so hopefully they won't say anything too offensive. But they've got a heavy bolter up there who I'm shooting at right now. The thing about the heavy bolter is that it's basically the ultimate counter to snipers because it applies a suppressive effect. What?
It's also important to mention, of course, that the reason that we are in early access is not really for cash. I mean, we're funded, so that's not why we're there. The reason is that we want to involve the players in the direction of the development and be involved in getting a better game. I mean, we were trying to find the fun of the shooter first, like I mentioned earlier, and that's why we're in early access. And that has been largely successful. We're 8 out of 10 in early access, and I mean we're incredibly happy with that. And I think we managed to actually see.
All right, so I just got stabbed from behind by one of the melee characters. So I'm going to switch over to a character.
The Sky
also
Fister?
melee. We'll save the Sky Fister for
Didn't we talk about naming the loadouts?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you have personalized loadouts and for the different classes.
Careful there. All right, so this is the Raptor. I'm playing on the Chaos side because usually there are more spots available. There's a lot of Space Marines online, even though the Chaos guys tend to win a little bit more. But the Raptor is the equivalent, is the melee character for the Chaos guys. And although you can be either a ground or a sky character, take this. The Raptors, although they're a little bit fragile, are usually pretty dangerous. You can also fire your pistol repeatedly because this is a 40K game. Oh, he got me with the Melt-A-Gun. Basically, every character is a melee and a ranged character at once, so you always have sort of two weapons you can access. Sort of basically based off of the miniatures, you always see a guy with a gun and a sword of any type. And we wanted to sort of stick to that philosophy.
Maybe you also noticed that the spawn point he chose was his Rhino of his squad. So that's basically a mobile spawn point for your squad all over the map.
Ooh, that was a bit of a bad matchup there against the guy with the shield.
I also want to say that he isn't really that good at the game. He's playing a superpowered character.
It's a
No,
it's
I'm
a
kidding.
myth that you're good at a game just because you designed it. Okay. All right. So let's see, how are we doing here? We got 5 minutes left. I believe we are the attackers. So we're probably not going to make it because we need to advance the influence bar. But of course, we are in early access, so we're testing all these sorts of things using our metric. Oh, I just dove at a heavy bolter guy.
But
These guys know what they're doing.
He doesn't die immediately, he goes into a wounded state, which of course where the support classes come in and actually can revive you.
Actually, I'll switch to a support class right now.
Poison Sorcerer, yes.
Yeah, he has a beam that he can use to heal his friends or a beam that he can use to put poison on his enemies. So basically, if you guys have ever played Team Fortress 2, then you'll be familiar with the sorcerer mechanics.
It's getting a little bit cut off at the top. There you see that there's 3 points, A, B, and C. A and C are held by Chaos, and B is held by the Loyalists.
Yeah. This is actually one of our smaller intended game modes. We'll give you guys a preview of where we're going next. This is only 15v15, and actually we want to support, but we are supporting 30v30. Oh, crap. Oh, I got somebody I got to save in here. Get up, Lucius. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in there. One of the great things about the 40K universe is that there are tanks and sorcerers at the same time. That's sort of what sets it apart and why there's so many... Ah! Oh, I gotta get out of here. Oh, somebody save me. Not gonna be that guy. No, no. Come on, at least execute me. Do something for the crowd. Oh, he did.
Well, he's still not executing you, though.
I know. He just wants me to crawl.
That's pretty nice of him. He killed, like, you know,
hey, yeah, a
took
little,
you out,
a little.
But didn't execute you. Because the thing is that we also have executions for each of the classes.
Yeah.
We felt that that was kind of fitting for our grim, dark universe.
Let's see. So normally I should be sticking with my my squad. Basically, even though like you know, we've got melee and we've got all sorts of like action mechanics, this is a squad-based tactical game, and so you are meant to be sticking with your leader. You're meant to be taking groups. We've got sort of waypoint mechanics and all that sort of stuff. In fact, if you stick near your leader who has a standard on his back, then you'll get a bonus, which can be customized. Right now, it's a mitigation boost. So there's my leader right there. So I'm gonna go try and give him a hand. There you go, Gob Fu. Gob Fu, there's guys right here. Whoa, 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 whoa.
And actually, in terms of being with your squad, um, you get even more XP if you're working together as a squad. So if you're close to your squad leader and you're all attaining an objective or killings, you actually get like bonus modifiers to the XP. But this is only the squads that you're seeing right now. We haven't added what we call the warlords, which is the standard, you know, single person that it can actually call in, you know, super stuff into the battlefield.
All right. Oh, this guy decided to finish me off.
See, he's gonna do it. Yeah.
And down he goes. All right.
Meh, meh.
I'm going to bring something else to the battlefield this time. My melt-a-gun. If you ever played Space Marine, their melt-a-guns are... Whoa, what is that? Oh, a Predator right there. Maybe I can join. If you ever played Space Marine, their melt-a-gun is a shotgun. Ours is not. Ours is much more of a afterburner on a jet.
And right now, you should be at point C.
Yep. Oh, somebody left their Rhino here. I'll just drain that out. I'm using the heavy bolter.
Because you're capturing point C right now. You can see why C is blinking.
Let's go somewhere.
And it's about to be captured by the circle.
By Space Marines. Wait, that's bad. We should really be helping, shouldn't we?
Yes, it's called defense.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to go over here instead.
But then again, driving around in a tank is always fun, right?
Yeah.
Screw the game. Drive the tank.
So we've got 3 different types of armored vehicles per faction in this game. You've got the transport, the tank, and then the heavy ordnance that's used for sieges. Oh, he's going to get away. Oh, no, he's not. Oh. So you'll notice that it takes a little bit, and the driver can't actually control the turret. And that is because we want each vehicle to be a more social experience. Like if you get out, there we go.
Yeah.
Burn this guy up. Hey, man.
Oh. See?
Well.
The social experience in tanks, it's not quite there yet, but we'll get there. You know, having a cup of tea inside the tank.
Yeah.
Then going to the bolter. You know, then having a cup of tea.
Yeah. So like I said, we are in fact just playing online with the people that are available. Here, actually, right now I can jump out and I can show you the sort of options that you have. So when you go to play the game, you have multiple characters that you can create. We will soon have Orcs and Eldar. Right now it's just Space Marines and Chaos. But then when you pick your character, you'll be able to check out world map, etc., loadouts. This is our early loadout screen with all the different options that you can have. There will be even more in the future, but if you want to edit any of them, you can do things like your consumables, pick frag or crack grenade if you prefer. You've got access to things like repair kits, warp crystals, which are first aid packs for these guys, ammo, etc. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to actually try to play a Space Marine now. Let's see. Hopefully, if we end up having a... Is this a Space Marine? No, it's another Chaos. I'll create another Space Marine for you. What faction should I do? Should I do Dark Angels, Ultramarines, or Blood Angels? Blood Angels, I heard. That's my favorite, too.
Blood Angels?
Yep, yep. We will have the Space Wolves very soon, and we actually just added the Imperial Fists. They'll be in the next patch.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's blocking Space Wolves is that, of course, they don't have helmets, so they have faces.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten a proper facial scan of me yet, so has to wait till we have that.
Yeah, I'm going to give myself a fist.
Yeah, you'll get one too.
Because we didn't do the power fist before. This will be another Sky Fister.
You're going to be an assault with a power fist, so you're going after tanks.
Fister again.
Sky Fist.
Okay.
We talked about this, right?
And then I want to make sure we have access to something cool, so I'm going to pick a plasma cannon right here.
Oh, yeah. Plasma cannon.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Plascan. Oh, my God. My fingers are freezing down here.
Plascan. Okay.
Plascan man. All right. Let's see if we can hop right in. Like I said, there's usually a queue for the Space Marines.
And realize, I mean, this is early access, and this is an alpha build. So early access is running alpha, and that's why it looks right now as a lobby shooter, simply because we were looking for and like getting the shooter right. What you'll see soon, actually, in 2 weeks, you will actually get the territorial map and parts of the character progression.
Yeah.
We'll show those those UI screens later on. It's not in this build.
Yeah, actually, if we want to show the preview of those right now while we're waiting.
Oh, we should yeah. Let's switch over.
Yeah, let's switch over to that. So we're going to give you a preview of some of the stuff that's coming in the game. Since we're doing the lobby shooter and we're doing some of the loadouts right now. But this is what the loadout screen is going to look like in just a few weeks.
This is the new loadout screen where we actually have more. You have like ailment resistance, like poison, heat, and fire. Equipment, classes, and of course appearance, because you will have a lot of visual customization. I mean, what would a 40K game be with if you couldn't put a wolf pelt around the space wolf?
Yep.
Or
bat ears on the Night Lord. That's my personal crusade.
Really big bat ears on Night Lords, like we're talking here, right? But you see, we also have secondary and two secondary weapons, main weapon, and you will actually get stats as such.
Yeah, what's missing right now is the accessories and the mods, because you'll be able to basically sort of craft your weapons together. You can change out the magazines, you can change out the barrel, etc. Like the Stalker Bolter is actually a bolt gun, just with a different barrel, different scope attached to it.
And here we have the progression tree. So as you can see that not only do you have a general progression tree for a sub-faction, so like not just the faction, but the sub-faction, but you will also be able to actually specialize in different classes. So basically we have a horizontal progression rather than a vertical, so like you don't go up 60 levels and be 60 times better than everybody else. You become more versatile over time, and of course part of this is also becoming and being able to play a veteran, elite, or a hero and save the day. Next one. Ding.
Yeah.
Whoops. No. Go back. Go back.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm trying to go back.
Left, right? There you go.
Go back.
All right.
So here you see a part of the territorial map, and you see that the end of the fortress. Here it is, the fortress, which basically tilts the ownership of the territory. Here you have the outposts, which are smaller battles, and you can see that there are battle lines all over the place. And this is what the entire map actually will look like. And that's actually coming in. It's actually in now, but the thing is that you can't use it to pick battles or anything like that. But it's showing actually the stats of all the matches which are in game right now on early access. Next one is where's my
slide to the right?
Slide to the right? It doesn't work.
There you go.
Yes. This is an example of a fortress, and you can just press next for me if this doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. More fortress. You can see that we're trying to get the epicness of 40K. Next piece. And more. Next.
It's all going to be fortress.
There.
Fortress is the 30v30 match.
Yeah, this is 30v30. Going further up and further up. And next one. A lot of fire. That's 40K. Fire. Here we have fire. Falling rocks. Fire. Fire. That was my channeling of the art director. Oh. Sorry. and the last one. So you can see the scale of the maps that we're doing is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Because, it's all about epic, large warfare. And what we have now with all the classes and the vehicles is just the beginning. The expandability is tremendous because it's a Warhammer 40K universe. We have Terminators coming up post-launch in the first free expansion. And, it's all free expansions. We don't sell you DLCs. We're different like that. Sorry. I'm sorry. If you really wanted to buy a DLC, I'll make one for you. And the next one is that we actually jump back to gameplay.
Yep, I'm good. We're in match.
We're in a match.
Switch over to the Space Marines. We've got the Apothecary here. The Apothecary is the support class on the Space Marine side, but he doesn't, of course, shoot a beam out or anything. He is a healer.
Yeah, see there. He just stabs them.
Exactly.
And then they feel better.
Yep. So he is a little bit faster at his healing, but he has to get up close. I see a couple of people are going to need some of my help here. Let's see if I can cross without dying.
Yeah.
Never run in front of a heavy bolter. That's usually bad news.
That's why they're standing behind.
Whee, these guys, they need my help. Oh, no, I guess not. He knows what he's doing. This is basically a strait between two of our capture points, A and B. This has always been the site of some of the coolest battles in the game. It's basically like our level design intentions is to create fortified spaces that you have to try to cross, and like most of the gameplay actually happens like between those spaces.
Even the apothecary has an execution, which is quite...
Yeah, I'll see if I can pull it off.
Yeah, try it. And do we have the sound of the game down? Please? Thank you. Because we're going to take questions while he is trying to do something in the game. No questions? Awesome. Oh, 1, 2. There we go.
I was just wondering, because with the way like the planet's going to be, and it's all going to be dynamic battles all across the planet, I'm kind of picturing something like PlanetSide 2.
Yeah, yes, that's yeah.
One of the problems, though, that I found with PlanetSide 2 was that, say you get a group of like 30 people, they attack a base, there's nobody defending the base, so they just capture it, and then capture, and then basically claim a territory without any kind of defense against it. Will there be like NPCs defending the bases, or will it just be like a free fortress to take?
Because even though we have a lot of things in common with PlanetSide 2, the way that we build up the territorial conquest and everything like that, is not the same way. So basically, that when parts of territory is attacked, you will have defenders from the other side. So it is more location based and match based rather than, they have continents essentially, right? Which is a match. And actually, in the future, we will go in that direction of having all the way up to 16 times 16 kilometers maps, which is larger than most open worlds, actually. But right now, as you can see, the focus is much more on finding fun gameplay in smaller match sizes, which affect the territorial control and avoids these problems, actually, to begin with. And then, of course, we advance over time because, our development team keeps on going after we launch. A launch is basically a cake party for us. Like, we'll have been in live with customers since June last year, and we're launching this year. So it's like, yay, we're launching, and somebody switches the logo from beta to launch, and it's like it's going to be a smooth experience. But like to begin with, it's not going to be identical to PlanetSide 2, but we have a lot of things in common, and including the territorial conquest.
One other question I was thinking as well. Are you thinking about having Titans in the game?
Adding?
Titans?
Yes, one. It's going to be mine. No, on a more serious note, so we have PvE and we have PvP. Titans is something, we have Titans models actually, because we got some models from another previous game. But what we foresee that much more being is that either as a PvE mode against the Titan, or it's more a Titan as part of the game mode itself. So you're not stomping around in a Titan on a map and everybody just like, So that's kind of fun for you in the Titan. The other 30 or 60 people, they're not going to be enjoying that experience. So it's something that we want to try out post-launch. But they're just too huge for the philosophy of our game, which is much more infantry and vehicle-based instead of, Eiffel Tower size-based things.
Is there any plans for flying units?
Yes. Okay. Well, so, two things. Number one, the maps right now, they wouldn't benefit from flying units. We could be adding flying units on rails You know, there are games that have them on rails, so you would be in a Thunderhawk, like a warlord would spawn a Thunderhawk, and you would be circling around the battlefield. But that's not planned for now. We do have hover and swooping hawks and everything like that, so there is some. But it's like when in the beginning we reviewed, for example, having motorcycles, and that kind of ended up with the situation that, sure, having a motorcycle and going over the map was really fun, but usually you just ended up crashing into walls. So they were not really useful. Although we intend to add them too as well. But not real flyers yet. Not until we have, you know, much more space so that they actually are valuable to the battlefield and not just circling in a small, you know, like that.
I was going to ask, how about Dreadnoughts? I know they were in
yes.
previous 40k game.
They will be in a free expansion.
All right, thank you.
Well, I mean, Dreadnought class, the different factions have different units which are in the class of Dreadnought. It's like the first expansion will be Terminators, but that's the Terminator class. So each faction gets a unit which is comparable to a Terminator at that point in time. It's 4 factions, so it's a lot of fun.
Will the Dreadnoughts have different things, loadouts, depending on the chapters?
Yes.
Awesome.
Get out of my way.
I mean, you can even have different loadouts for the tanks.
Are there any plans for Tau?
Sorry?
Tau. Are there any plans for them?
So, right now, we have some massive amounts of contents with these 4 factions plus the Tyranids, so that at launch, there's no other faction going to come in, no matter how many requests. Although I can be bribed, and a new faction would cost around $3 million. Anyone? Going once?
I have around
going.
£3.
You have?
£3.
£3.
Yeah.
That's not even enough to start a Kickstarter. But no, so our plan, tentatively, a year after launch, we would like to see us adding a new faction. And we have that option from Games Workshop, right? The question becomes, which faction makes sense being there, because we already have 5. So why on... I'm not going to say why on Earth, because it's the far future, right? Why would, you know, Tau or Necron show up there as well? I don't know. Group sex? Who knows? But Tau is the most requested one. I can tell you that. So it's also actually internally of the developers a big request of getting the Tau in, because, you know, manga / mech, of course, and the newest additions to Tau from Games Workshop are pretty awesome. So we'd like to get those in, but it's a year after.
Yeah, we've got plenty to expand on from the core factions first. We've got, you know, cults for chaos. We've got, like, you know, Terminators. We've got plenty to do there.
Well, I mean, there's also expanding simply on what we have already: more game modes, more maps, more PvE factions. Because, I mean, chaos is not just chaos. You can have renegade factions of Space Marines, which are chaos-y, and you can have Imperial Guards as NPCs. I mean, they are cannon fodder. I'm sorry, that's just how they are. So they can be NPC enemies for the other factions. I mean, I don't really see Space Marines going to wipe them out, but I mean,
Execute. Yeah.
It worked.
What? I was just encouraging him.
Did you manage to show them the apothecary?
I was playing the apothecary earlier.
No, did the execution?
Oh, yeah, I did that earlier.
Yeah.
You'll note that I was not trying to capture this point because only the tacticals can capture points, the troops effectively. We don't want jump pack characters sort of like hopping ahead. The point of all the characters is basically to escort the ground troops, the most important guys, to the points, keep them alive, etc. So like you would expect in the tabletop or in the lore, we want sort of the composition of the battlefields and of each army in a given matchup to match what you would expect. So we don't want like parity on all the classes. We want parity on each faction.
Yeah. So, I mean, you will not be seeing identical classes between the factions. There are some that are pretty much the same, but it's a very asymmetrically balanced game, and that's kind of the fun of 40K in general.
Oh, shit.
More questions? Again? I see there's only 2 people that are interested in playing in the game.
I just remember when the game was like first announced and stuff. I think I remember reading something about guilds, and in a guild you'd be on a cruiser when you're not in, like, on the.
Yes. So guild homes,
that's it.
be that a cruiser or a webway, is not at launch. Guilds are at launch, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's also a social area.
Yes.
That serves as a tutorial.
There's a social area where you can be teabagging each other as much as you want. But there's think of it this way. We're focusing all our effort and assets to make fun maps right now, rather than starting an entire new art and asset and level design pipeline to make ships, which I don't really want to add unless you can actually have combat there and everybody's shooting each other. That's kind of like the criteria there.
And when
Fortunately, you will be able to basically like take your whole guild and go to a spot where only your guild is, and you can even fight each other while you're there.
Yeah.
Well, when you do get to that point, kind of with the cruisers and stuff, will there be, do you think, any scope, like maybe not next year or the year before, year after, but like further on, kind of like space battles or something?
Sorry,
that'll be fixed next
space battles.
Space battles?
There you
No. No. Oh my God, no.
Yeah, there is a game coming out.
There is a game
that we can recommend to you.
Warhammer game number 27.
Yeah.
Is Battlefleet Gothic. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Hey,
More
we're going to win.
questions?
Eat it, chaos.
Okay, so it's time to show the naked Eldar.
They said we had to wait for that. No, we will be showing off the Eldar very soon, actually, later this month. The mocap was completed. The animations are going in. And the orcs will be coming shortly after that. We're actually starting the mocap on the orcs in 2 weeks. We'll create a lot more diversity on the battlefield.
Oh, you won.
That's right.
Because of you.
Yeah, and my 8th place.
Yeah, the 8th place.
The score is based entirely off the XP, which, of course, we're tuning at the moment. We're basically trying to make the XP reward tactical behavior. So capturing points, guarding around points, those sorts of things give you the most. And the XP is going to be used for the progression system that we showed earlier, so you can get new accessories, unlock new classes, veteran classes, things like that.
More questions? So it's all awesome. Okay. I guess that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Any classes or things like that you want to see?
Oh, you have a question? Yeah.
I was going to ask, is there any plans for specific kind of character or hero units, such as
yes.
Khan the Betrayer or Abaddon or anything like that?
Did you hear that, Brent?
Yeah, you said plans for hero units, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have this system which we're calling sort of like elites, where you can play as them for not an entire match unless you are the warlord. And under that system, you pay on a per spawn basis, pay not real money, in-game currency, and then you can manifest that character for a brief period of time. And we will have both sort of preset elites as well as the ability to make veteran loadouts that allow you to equip more at once. So if you want to have your relic gun, you want to have the best armor, full of accessories, Iron Halo, all that sort of stuff. Those will be your options.
Yeah, veterans is pretty basic in the 40K tabletop, which is that you have Stern Guard instead of just the standard guys.
Coming for you.
But there's also, like, in terms of elites, you would see, for example, what's it called? Epistolary.
I knew that was the right thing to do.
Isn't that the second level
Epistolary?
of the librarian?
Yeah.
Epistolary, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Legion of the Damned, those sorts of things.
Yes, Legion of the Damned, of course. I mean, who doesn't
Possessed.
want to be, like, you know, in a black power suit, like all flames, half dead, jumping out of the warp?
Yeah.
That's what I dream of all day.
My jump pack has turned off. That'll be fixed next patch. Normally, this sort of map, you should be driving around in a vehicle.
One thing you should know is that there's quite a few licensors, of course, of Warhammer. And
Nice.
I've been trying to get get this thing that we call ourselves like the shoulder pad league, because we all have these huge shoulder pads. Nobody liked it.
Yeah.
I can see you don't like it either.
The Power Fist is actually very difficult to handle against infantry. It's meant for smashing down the walls of the fortress or hitting vehicles and stuff. Actually,
How much of the times that we've been here have you been crawling around?
It happens a lot. Once we add in the pistols while crawling around. No, don't go off the cliff. Okay. Once we add the pistols while we're crawling around, it'll be a little more interesting. But we let you crawl for a while because we really want to encourage that sort of team play so that you can get back to an apothecary or anybody who could be healing you.
Crawl.
It'll also be, yo, dev dude, make this game grimmer and darker pulls. You got it, Unseen Saint. This level's our grim darkest yet. We'll keep grim darking it.
Yes.
The downstate will also be essential in the PvE when you're fighting against the Tyranids.
Yeah.
Which is, we put out a video of it a little bit ago. But basically, in that sort of segment, then once you're dead until the wave is over. So you'll want somebody to rescue you before that happens.
Yeah, I mean, our PvE modes are pretty much the standard PvE modes that you see out there, which are 4 or 5 player co-op. You know, you can think Left 4 Dead, stuff like that. You know, so yeah, I can see you guys hate me.
Well, we want to recreate.
I'm crying inside.
We want to create an experience that's kind of like, you know, what you expect fighting Tyranids in the dark.
So, any other questions?
Do you happen to have plans to, for instance, it is PvP, but with PvE elements in it. Let's say you have Guard versus Heretics, and each team has about 5 Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines that form a kind of strike teams. So you have the PvE, you have the Guard and Heretics fighting each other, and it is the players that try to tip the scale, as it were.
It was a long question, and I got half of it. I'm just going to say yes. But was it PvE?
No, it's basically you have, let's say you have the Guard and the Heretics fighting each other, right? Those are NPCs. And you have the humans, a couple of Space Marines running around that try to tip the battle in their favor. Tip the balance
in their favor. So you would say that another faction actually comes in, or you mean the Tyranids, for example, or?
No. So you have the Space Marines are backed up by the Guard, right? They're fighting the Heretics, and the Heretics are backed up by the Chaos Space Marines.
I'm really sorry, I can't hear what you're saying.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, so from the top again. Let's say you have the Guard fighting Heretics.
All right.
No, say it.
Yeah, again, you have the Guards fighting Heretics, right?
No, don't poison me.
And you have, in the meantime, players running about like Space Marines
Yes.
to tip the scales in favor of their faction.
Yes.
So it's basically a combination of PvE and PvP.
Well, yes. So, if I understood you correctly, will we have PvE and PvE actually affecting everything and tipping the scales? Yes. PvE and PvE all ties into the entire territorial conquest, and also gives you strategic objectives. So there's strategic resources on the map which actually will give you more powers in the battles themselves, PvP battles. So, for example, clearing out more Tyranids will actually give you more powers for the Warlord to actually deploy. Did that answer your question? Almost.
Well, so like any match affects the overall terrain, overall territory control. Specifically, the Tyranids try to take territories, and people need to periodically go and fight them to prevent you losing your territory to the Tyranids. If that helps answer the question. But every match switches something on every PvP match switches the territory on the map.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's the question. Yay!
Right. In terms of the drop pods that I see lying about on some of the maps,
Drop pods?
Yeah. Are
Yes.
there going to be any features of having them say you can strike in enemy territories further back?
So, yes and no. Because it is an intended feature.
Yeah.
The Warlord is supposed to be able to drop down a squad at a certain space, right?
Okay, yeah.
However, as we have a lot of buildings and spires and everything like that, there's a certain problem that we have to work out so that you don't really just drop a drop pod on top of a 2-kilometer high spire, and that's not kind of cool.
Sort of ideas still in the head.
Well, the drop pods will probably be after launch because they're going to be part of the expanded Warlord powers. The Warlords should be coming in the next month. And what a Warlord is it's basically, if you know Commander mode from BF4, then it's inspired by that, except that in the Warhammer universe, you don't expect your Warlord to just be standing off somewhere giving orders. You expect them to be in the battlefield. So the Warlord is actually a character that's in the field, can always play an elite character and has some special powers there, but also can respond to requests to use certain things like airstrikes and supply drops. And that's what we're going to be seeing first. Those are working internally. They're going to be able to, either themselves or responding to a request, be able to drop an airstrike or a supply drop or a tank, for example, on a point while running around and fighting themselves. But they don't do this constantly. They do it just a few times per match because we want them out there fighting. And killing a Warlord will be a big deal.
Thank you very much.
It'll get called out by the rest of your faction. We recorded voice lines for it, that sort of stuff. You'll get a lot of XP.
Are you planning on having any mod support in the game?
Sorry?
Any support for modding for the game?
No, I'm not hearing you again.
Are you going to have any support for making mods for the game?
For any...
Mods, like modifications?
Mods. No. I think we're going to try to finish a game first before we're going to figure out modding a game. We think this is a very logical approach.
Yep,
it's a live game, of course. Like it's an online game, so
but no, I mean modding this game would mean that yes, you could have private servers which are running this mod, but that is not currently on the plan. We'd love to, though. I mean, yeah. That's it, though.
That's it, everyone. I'd like to say thank you to the guys for a great talk there about Warhammer 40,000 Eternal Crusade. Thanks very much.
He obviously found me really boring and is throwing me off the stage.
Oh, no, not at all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.